Hey, it's me, Tim. Remember a couple months ago I made this prototype fretless bass, this sort of idea I had? Well, I just finished version 2.0. Let's talk about it. First, let's talk about the original and we'll give it a quick listen. All the audio you're going to hear in this video was recorded using the condenser mic on this camera, as well as a direct in from my bass amp into a little Tascam like recorder. So I'm going to blend the two, DI and microphone, and the amp I'm using is a Phil Jones bass briefcase. It's two 5-inch speakers, battery powered little amp, so it's not a ton of low end moving around the room right now. It should come out pretty clean on this microphone. And first we'll give a listen to this one. If you remember from the first video, I'm sort of chasing this idea. I wanted to make this instrument that just basically looks like a slab of wood with strings on it. I'm not trying to recreate Fender. Fender already makes Fenders. I'm trying to do something a little different. We have an extended 3-octave range and this very low profile flat fretless thing. I also have an integrated one-piece bridge and body as well as the nut. So the whole idea is that there's this whole top piece of wood with strings on it. You know, there's some electronics in the back. Everything's nice and smooth, and I really like this bass. It's still functioning great a couple months later. Some of the concerns in the comments were about this bridge not being practical, and I agree. As well as the nut and not being intonatable, which I don't think is a big deal, because cellos and violins aren't intonatable, and people are playing just fine on them hundreds of years, and they have wooden bridges and they're lasting just fine. But I do agree that having the wooden bridge built into the body does pose problem for future owners of the instrument, right? They would make it difficult for them to do work. So I thought I would address that in the next version, as well as if I want to have this whole wooden front, I really have to hide this pickup. I kind of wanted to show it off on the first one, but I changed my mind, and so I wanted to remove that. Another part of this design was I built this sort of thumb ledge into the body. But it's not thick enough, so I didn't really have a good spot for my thumb to work, so that wasn't working the way I wanted it. And also I wanted to give myself a little more access up here for these upper notes on this full, 3-octave neck. So let's take a look at the next one. Here's what I came up with, and it's still not quite 100% what I want, but I'm a lot closer, and I really, really dig this instrument. So you can see right off the bat, the first thing you notice is that there's no pickup, no controls. This whole top, that's exactly what I was looking for, just nothing but wood, right? I made this two-piece thing different, so now the second piece that glues on the top doesn't cover the whole top of the body, and we have a place to put our thumb. And pickup's hidden. You have to access the pickup through this hole here. My electronics on the back are basically the same. I had to mess around with some placement. I put a jack here on the end, which I need to replace. This one's bad, but I couldn't put my other knob there because it bumped into it, so I had to put it here, and I just put a little LED light in there to fill that hole. That's all working great. I also gave myself some more access in this upper register, as well as taking away even a little bit more extra wood here to help get your fingers up in there a little bit easier. And I was thinking you could actually use that as a little place to sort of get your fingers under these strings to snap them up. You're never going to be able to slap on this thing because you just can't really get your fingers under here and claw it up, but that's, you know, I'm not trying to build that instrument. All of that worked great, but I think the biggest, most important change is I was able to keep my wooden bridge, and what I did is I made it so it just comes right out. And you can then adjust the height that way, and you can intonate it. You see how we have a pretty wide surface here? You can intonate it by the way you file the shape in and whatnot. But if that's not good enough for you, you can always take it out and replace it and use some other type of wood or whatever. Or I made this bridge that pops right in that hole with these little fret wire pieces like old school Hofner's. So you can do a more traditional sort of like floating bridge that pops in there, you know? I still have the one-piece wood nut, but we also have the option of making a 0 fret there. So you could have the strings go from fret to fret and all wood in between, or like I originally envisioned, you know, wood to wood all the way in between. So I feel like this is a little bit more practical without straying too far from the original idea. I also incorporated some position markers into the design. I did the sort of like EKG heartbeat thing, marking the 3, 5th, 12th, all the way up through all 3 octaves, which I think looks really cool. I didn't seal the wood on it when I did it, and so you get a little bit of bleed through. If I'd sealed it first and then filled it, I would have looked a little cleaner, but I kind of like that, honestly. And I still didn't do any fancy finishes. One of the things that was discussed a lot in the comments was the headstock. Some people loved it, some people hated it. I personally like this shape. A couple people said it looked kind of a little too generic, like a PV or something, but I like it, so I'm rolling with it. But the one thing that I agree with, and a lot of people mentioned, was how, you know, having these tuners sticking out sort of takes away from that all wood look that we're going for. Some of the comments were to make the tuners side mounted so they'd be behind, or to go headless. I don't want to do headless on this instrument. I do other headless instruments. This one, I definitely don't want that. But I have a couple ideas of maybe doing something different with the tuner or some type of banjo tuner. But for now, this isn't really bothering me all that much, and I'm focused more on these other aspects of it. Yeah, I like it. Another comment a lot of people had was they don't like the idea of hiding these controls on the back. They think it's going to be in the way or not accessible. I don't find it to be hard to access at all. I mean, obviously you're not going to be able to get it as fast as if it was here, but you can access it no problem, and it doesn't bump into my shirt. I don't have any problems with myself accidentally turning the knobs down while I play it. But you'll notice on this one, I didn't even put knobs on it just to keep them smaller and flush. So what I've been using for electronics in these is I've been buying EMG pickups. They're active pickups, and they come with like a little kit with these 2 controllers, the pickup, the battery connector, and everything is all together. So one of the comments people had were using faders or sliders or mounting something on the side, but I'm not doing that because I'm thinking about cost effectiveness and also simplicity. So since this is a kit that all is designed to work together with no solder, it makes sense to stick with that kit. And I think that, you know, like these little knobs, like you barely see them, they turn fine. I might make a tiny little knob, something I can keep it as low profile as possible. We'll see. I mean, it is always a potential to do sliders, but I have a feeling that sliders would be more likely to get slid than these knobs are to get turned. I'm also a fan of just on-off switches. You could always do that as well, or no knobs at all. But right now this seems fine. And I don't want to do side mount like they have on acoustic instruments and stuff, because I like to make these really thin. Like this is less than an inch thick here. I like it now. I think it is totally worth it to have that front look like that. So I was able to hide the pickup and make this bridge adjustable, removable, replaceable, repairable. That takes care of all of that nonsense. I'm still working on where I want to have curves and shapes and stuff on this thing. You know, my instinct was to make it all very angular and straight, because then it's, again, quicker and easier to do. Faster production, keeps the cost down, but I found that this top edge was a little sharp, so I ended up hand planing it a little bit. And I also did like a routed chamfer around some of this edge, but I'm still experimenting with all those little details of the fit and finish. So the idea would be to create the CNC file, so this basically gets cut out in two pieces, the back and the front. And if I can create all these really good files, and I can do it with relatively minimal amounts of handwork, I can make these very inexpensive, which is cool, because who wants to spend $1 million on an instrument, you know? Just for the record, this isn't waste. I actually go through it and cut these down and reuse this wood. I glue it up to make smaller guitar body blanks and whatnot. So I do use all of this excess material that gets left here. It's not firewood. It's going to get used again. Don't worry. So here's the big question. When I put out that first video, a lot of people expressed interest in this instrument and said they were interested in buying one. But I'm not quite ready to start manufacturing them yet. And this one's definitely mine, because there's some things about it that make me not want to sell it. But this one, I think I'm going to put up for auction. I'd love to put this in the hands of another player and see what they think. So what do you think? Let me know in the comments. Should I just sell it outright? Maybe do a silent auction? Should I do a proper eBay auction? Curious what you think. Because I don't need two of them, and I would love to hear what someone else thinks of it. So let me know in the comments below. And I'm going to get back to work now. Thank you all very much, and have a great day. 1, 2, 3.